Okay, we're going to put the oil pump on this Mercruiser 470. The oil pump bolts onto these two bolts there, and then the oil strainer mounting bolts on there. So we're going to, just like that. So we're going to crack off this main bearing cap, because this bolt is the same bolt that holds the pump strainer in place. I'm going to spin that out, get the pump, drop it into place, get that main cap bolt, spin it in a few threads just to hold it all in place. And once we've got that in place, get the two bolts that hold the oil pump down to the block. This piece here, this is where the oil comes up through the oil pump into the main oil gallery. So these want to be really tight. Okay, so give those a real good whack in. Okay, there probably is a torque setting, but like I say, I probably haven't got a torque wrench that'll go down that small. So I've just tightened them up as much as I dare. Now I'm going to spin this main bearing cap in, torque it back down, check the other side because one's been loose, so check them over, and then because I've torqued a cap, same again, going to give the engine a turn, make sure it's all nice and free, and we're away. Now I'm going to put the sump gasket on the sump. This is a cork gasket. Now this is actually a really good cork gasket. I'm quite impressed with the quality of this, and it's got a sticky back. So I'm going to peel the backing plate paper off the back of the gasket, and then once I've got that off, I'm going to get the gasket, I'm going to flick it back over and stick it down to the face of the sump, making sure all the bolt holes are nicely in line. Okay, you will notice that on this cork gasket I'm not using any gasket glue or anything like that. Okay, this is because you don't really want to use gasket glue on a cork gasket, because until the gasket goes off, until the gasket glue goes off, it actually acts like a lubricant. So one last look in the engine there, check it all. Yeah, so quite happy with that. And we're going to put this to bed now. I'm going to drop the sump on, get the bolts, spin all the bolts in. Now these bolts have got shake-proof washers on. Not a massive torque on this. All you're actually really looking to do is to compress the gasket, compress that cork gasket. Now, the reason why I'm not using any silicone sealers, I've explained that acts like a lubricant on a cork gasket. So when you tighten it down, instead of you tightening it down and the cork gasket compressing in between the two sealing faces, the cork gasket will actually slide out from in between the faces. So you just go around, make sure it's all nipped down evenly, and then once you've nipped it all down, got it all sort of, so everything's nice and flush together, you'll go around it and just give it like your final nip, which is just squeezing that gasket to stop any oil coming out. So just go around all the bolts. I think they're like a 1/2 inch AF. Now just going around, nipping them down, just giving that final pinch on that gasket. Like I say, no gasket glue used in here. Okay, now we're getting to the stage where this engine can now come off the workbench that it's been on for the first part of this being put together. Now just bear in mind, this is a 3.7 litre engine. Now there's not many 3.7 litre engines that you can roll around and manhandle like this. For saying it's a big petrol engine, it is for the UK anyway, and it's actually quite lightweight. Okay, so now we're going to just put it on the floor, careful not to drop it, don't want to damage it after all the work that's gone into it so far. We're going to get that workbench out of the way, give it a final spin over, and we're away. The rest of this rebuild will now take place with me knelt on the floor. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you want more. Cheers.